Have the wire all simplified here. I've got an inline fuse. I've got one other fuse. This goes to the brake light switch because it is just a separate circuit by itself. And then I've got a main big fuse with a 30 amp and a large gauge wire, and a spare fuse is taped right here to the bundle should I need it, although you could just probably jam something down in there if you found the problem and disconnected it. Got the battery sandwiched in there with two slices of plywood. I've got it grounded right here. Wires are soldered in there, homemade terminal connectors. Then I've got my brake light switch down there. I've got my main bundle of wire because I tried to use the same wire. I didn't want to rewire it with all new wire because obviously whoever did this job was way smarter than I am, and they probably had a college education and were an electrical engineer or something and worked for the federal government, because this thing was just way overcomplicated. You can see the box is a little bit cleaner now. What I've done is just taken off the main power supply that's fused, and then I come off of that one and I connect everything together, and I'll tie in my switches and so forth and give everything power that it needs. Then when you turn on the switch, you've got your generator light, your oil pressure switch. The headlights are independent on that switch, and then I'll have a spare switch if I want to put another set of lights on it. I think what I want to do is put an LED, an inexpensive LED light bar down there close to the front. I think that'd be cool. They seem to be the cool thing now. So I would like to get in on that and try that. So I did also, as you may be able to see, I still have to mount that seat. I got rid of that loop in the brake line switch, cleaned that up, and moved the brake light sensor back here. Doesn't matter where you have it in there as long as it's going to sense pressure. I just was able to unbend that brake line, and as it turned out, it just worked out pretty darn good. The reason I did not put new stuff in there is because I'm planning on adding a turning brake at a later date, but I don't have the time or money to mess with that right now. Yeah, so this is all turning out pretty good. Here's the tangled up mess that I removed from the car. So simplifying things is the key here. This is no longer a long distance race car. This is now a recreation vehicle. I prefer having these fiberglass seats in it because you're not sitting in there driving for that long a period of time. Maybe a half hour max before an old man like me has got to get out and pee. Depends on how much coffee or what I'm drinking on the trail, how hard I'm sweating. But, you know, people want to stop and say, hey, what's over here? What's over there? I hear something funny. My car's not running right. And very seldom have I ever been on anything on a run that you went more than a half hour at a time. So, you know, I'd like to put in a CB radio, but that only works good if you've got somebody else with a CB radio. So it's kind of pointless to do it by yourself. And who are you going to call? You go out in the sand, you got your cell phone, but rarely do we have good cell service where sand dunes are, and the chances of catching somebody back in camp that has reception, usually you have to drive to the top of the tallest dune someplace and you barely get anything. Depends on what part of the country, and of course, but you know, just as a general rule, that communication stuff helps a lot. I got my just got a canvas bag from Home Depot, a little husky bag, the color matches, and I reinforced the bracket and have that all supported. So there you go. My camera mount's in and ready to go. I'll have to come up with some sort of sexy looking cover for this maybe. I don't know what I come up with on that, but that's just temporary and good enough for now. So I got to get this other seat mounted, and get the side cover on, and then I gotta attack the tires. I could go with these tires. One's facing the wrong way than the other. Doesn't matter which way you swap it, it still comes out that way. This is the correct way. The other one's facing the wrong way, which is probably fine. It's just probably not going to climb some of the extremely steep stuff as well that way. And I got a different set of rims and same type of desert tires that I might just put on there. And I still got to recock that spring on the other side, put a little more pressure in it for the fat guy driving it. And there you have latest updates. So I got to get the crack-a-lackin' here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Easy Jeezy.